Hi, this is Senator Melisa Franzen with the weekly update. This week we had a lot of activity at the Capitol, lots of days at the Capitol with healthcare and Minnesota Nurses Day at the Capitol and Minnesota ophthalmologists and optometrists. We had a whole group of folks coming with white jackets here at the Capitol to advocate for healthcare, which is coincidental that I actually got to be able to join and got appointed to be back on the Health and Human Services Finance Committee. I'm very excited about that. I was a previous vice chair for 4 years in my first term as a freshman. Missed that committee. We know that our district has a lot of healthcare interests and stakeholders, from nurses to doctors to hospitals and providers. So I'm excited to be back on a committee that's really relevant for our district and for the entire state. We first heard this week on Tuesday, my first day in committee, the opioid stewardship bill. And that bill is certainly something that's gotten a lot of attention statewide and nationwide with the opioid crisis going on. So it's exciting to be part of that discussion and hoping to move that legislation forward with input from the community to make sure that we have people that are safe in their communities with dealing with pain management in a safe way, but also making sure that we have some regulatory framework that we're able to have in place to keep communities safe. The other issue that they came up this week is we had a press conference on the minimized legislation for early childhood scholarships, and I have been supportive of that since I've been here in the legislature in 2012. So this year the Senate chief author of the Senate is Carla Nelson. We had a press conference with people from different areas touching and stakeholders of the whole education scholarships provisions in the Senate. And coincidentally, there is a parent from Joyce Presco who was testifying on behalf of scholarships, and I found out that my little Philip, who's 3 years old, is in the same class of the parent, and Mateo is her son. So it was kind of fun to see that play out, not planned. But I believe in early childhood education. As I mentioned, I have a 3 and a 2-year-old. Even before of having kids, I believe that is the greatest equalizer, and I think education scholarships are the pathway to make that happen here in Minnesota. So I'll be supporting that legislation moving forward, and I'll have more details on the newsletter. And finally, we are working our way with STEM Day at the Capitol, which is scheduled to be Monday, February 25th. We have at least a dozen teams from across the state that are coming to the Capitol to exhibit their robots, and we are actually working on a press conference, which we'll have more details later, about a few bills that we're going to push forward in terms of increasing access to STEM and to robotics across the state, from K-12 through higher ed and apprenticeships. So I'm excited to work on that legislation, really led by constituents in our district and all these young kids who are doing amazing work in robotics and have taught me a lot in the last few years. So hopefully we'll move some legislation forward and bring some emphasis on the importance of having STEM education through the pipeline. So that's all I have for now. Please keep with your conversations and your emails. I'll try to get them as soon as I can. There's a lot of activity and a lot of communication, but if you ever need something urgently, please feel free to call or text my cell phone, 612-968-4566, or call our office here. Kendall Smaby is my legislative assistant, and we try to respond as soon as we can with all your inquiries and however we can be helpful. Thank you and have a great day.